I would like to add a question to this, whatever I asked you, that, Form 7C is being extremely misused by partisan vested interests to delete voters from the electoral list, especially those from the minority, whether it be the Muslims, the Christians, and other minorities. There is a concerted effort to take away the voting rights of the people. Now, in this scenario, for me, I've done my bachelor's in public administration. I know a little bit about the constitution. The election is a fundamental bellwether of democracy. Now, if in that process you are denying the rights to your own citizens, of certain segments of your population, is shouldn't the court be taking suo moto cognizance of this fact and actually take action when the ECI is failing to do so?
I entirely agree with you because, in fact, see, when you have an election, even in a small state, you have hundreds of polling booths, you have voters lists, and people find that they've been deleted from the voters list. In this age, you should be able to put it up on a public platform, your voter list, so that people can come and redress it before the election. It cannot be that I go to vote and find, one chunk belonging to this particular community in this particular area, their entire names are gone. And then an election takes place and somebody is already installed in power. So there has to be a mechanism which has to be created whereby this electoral roll should be available for public scrutiny. And it is so easy in today's date to put it up on a public platform. It's not difficult. They need not man an office. They need not, have lists all over the constituency. It can be simply uploaded and everybody can see it for themselves. And there should be a mechanism of redressing it.
Yes,
I,
absolutely.
and this perhaps will lie from the fact that the courts will have to now intervene because the election commission has miserably failed to inspire any confidence, which is why you had in that particular village, they wanted to have a ballot. And how do you suppress that? You actually have a curfew. I mean, it is showing something, a side of democracy which is not palatable to the constitution.
I mean, here are people who actually believe in the concept of democracy and wanted to exercise, not even in the official capacity, just for their own satisfaction, a poll to understand what really happened. And you are
Yeah.
suppressing even that right. I mean, I find it extremely funny, but at the same time so insidious that, what are they so afraid of?
See, this is an empirical study. That's all. It's an
Yeah.
empirical scientific study in the field of social behavior. That is all that that village was trying to exercise. And you have a curfew to prevent that from happening. What was there to conceal? Assuming even if the results were different, it is for the government to take into account why were the results different when votes were polled on a ballot on an experimental basis as against an EVM. Then it is for the government of the day, the election commission of the day, to see whether there was in fact a problem with the EVMs. But that is not what has happened. You impose a curfew and you prevent a social empirical experiment, which again is absolutely not in consonance with our constitutional ethos. It is not in consonance with our constitution because our constitution also guarantees us free speech and free speech. And that is what that village in Maharashtra was trying to exercise. They were trying to tell, listen, here we are conducting a social experiment and we want to know the truth. It is an expression of free speech so that whatever are the problems can be resolved. You don't suppress it with a curfew.
Absolutely. And so now is the government also going to get into elections of, like, say, professional associations and all other bodies where, or in colonies where they have elections and voting happening? I mean, it seems extremely idiotic. Sorry for my language, but it just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
In fact, in our bar association elections, we have a ballot. In our society, in the elections in the society, we have ballots. Why? We can have an iPad and people can go and press something, and no, you don't trust that mechanism. You follow the paper ballot. And if you are exercising paper ballot for want of confidence in bar association elections, in housing society elections, how is it that you allow an electronic voting on a national scale where so much is at stake and where it has been repeatedly told that public examinability is critical? And that is something which this system simply cannot work out.
Absolutely.